Good morning and welcome to Hacking Self Storage. Today we are doing a vendor shout out. It's in the newsletter today. Normally I don't do the same content as in the newsletter, but today and the rest of this week we are doing. And so we're giving a shout out to somebody very special. And then tomorrow, what we're going to do is we're going to go through my site by site, and we're going to go through 2023. We may even include some 2022 figures, and then we're going to compare 2023 with 2024. After this, I'm heading straight to coffee shop now, and I'm going to deep dive and go through it all. This is my porn. I bloody love it. Honestly, I just love going through the figures, seeing how we progressed. Because even though you've got a grasp on your figures overall, when you look and compare year to year, it gives you something completely different. It's like when you're doing your quarterly figures, then you see stuff that you perhaps wouldn't have done. And overall, I was like, oh my God, 2024, has it been a good year? Has it not been a good year? I think it's been a good year. And then when you take a stand back and look at it as a whole, you're like, huh, okay, all right. Because I get right in the weeds. If I was an investor or if I was a mentor for my business, this is what I always try to think. I always try to think, right, just put my things up there so you can see, so my earphones can actually, if you're not watching this, by the way, I've just rolled my hat up and to make sure that the sound's all right. Right. So if I was an investor in this business, I always try to think of a business this way. I'd just take a step back and I'd look at monthly figures. I won't even care about weekly figures. I would look at monthly figures. And if there's a problem, then I'd dive deeper into the weekly figures. I'd just look at the monthly figures. I'd do a report for maybe a couple of hours. And then I would then wait for the quarterly figures. And the quarterly figures, I probably spend about an hour on the monthly figures. And then the quarterly figures, I take a deeper look because it's more significant, because it's a bigger time period. And then obviously I want to look at the 6 months and I want to look at the year. And if I was consulting for my company, I would say, what the hell do you worry about? Revenue's going like that. Expenses are staying the same for your mature sites. It's only a matter of time before your cash flow issues and problems. And by the way, the core sales have massively helped. I'm sat on, not sat on, but there's a chunk, well, yeah, sat on, but there's a chunk of money from the core sales that we can deploy back into the business. So it's given me a little bit of breathing space as a core sale. So thank you very much. I honestly, genuinely appreciate all of you buying the course. And I do think it is fucking amazing. The course isn't for sale, by the way, now, so I'm not trying to sell it to anybody or anything like that. I hate the selling process. I've sold you before. But ultimately, I am here to make money as well. This is why I do all this, because I want to create a better life for all my family and friends and stuff. And so, yeah, I want to make money. And so if I was consulting, like I say, I would be over the moon with this business. I would stand back and think, yeah, do you know what? I don't know what I'd say. Dean, I'm your consultant. Why are you worried about the ups and downs on a daily basis? The monthly figures are going in the right direction. The quarterly figures are going in the right direction. And ultimately, the yearly figures look really, really good year on year. You're seeing massive growth. I've just gone through the revenue at Clough Road. No extra expenses whatsoever. And the revenue has grown by 27%. The price per square foot has gone up. I'm just guessing it's around about 40% increase. It's incredible, the growth there. And it's not just Clough Road. There's a clear roadmap that self-storage companies or our self-storage company do. And so 2024, by the way, wasn't amazing. We only gained 1,000 square foot at Clough Road, yet our increase was 27%. So it's not been an amazing year in terms of square foot, but if we get an amazing year with square foot, an amazing year of revenue growth, then boom. So at the minute, it was a okay year for revenue growth, for square foot growth, 1,000 square foot. We still grew, but it wasn't amazing. It's still not an immature site, so that's a bit disappointing. But it's okay, it still grew. But the revenue was absolutely fantastic. So ultimately, Clough Road, really good year. But we'll get into that tomorrow. We're going to do, I don't know if I've done Willoughby already or not. I can't remember. But if I haven't done Willoughby, I'll do Willoughby first, and then the rest of the week, we'll go on and I'll go through each and every single one so you know exactly where my business is. And yeah, I'd like to share it all. Right, okay, so I want to give a shout out. Excuse me, I've got a cold. I think that sometimes we've got to appreciate what people do for us. And this is why I want to give Adrian Standerwick. I always get, yes, Adrian, I'm terrible with your second name. Standerwick, right. So yeah, I want to give Adrian and his company a massive shout out because the job they have done is incredible for me. But more than that, I trust these guys absolutely implicitly. Adrian's company is called active-cctv.co.uk. Active-cctv.co.uk. Where did I meet Adrian? I'm glad you asked. I met him at a bar, drunken, crazy night. And for some reason, me and Adrian seemed to be the last ones there every single night until 2 a.m. I was like, this guy is all right. I like this guy. And he's like, I think I like you too, Dane. And then we couldn't. But I already knew him before that. I already knew it on LinkedIn. And I genuinely thought, what a nice guy. Because he puts pictures, posts about his family. Yeah, this is why it's so good to put personal posts on LinkedIn. This is why I'm so open about everything, because I feel like that if you just talk about business, we only know you as a businessman. And then there's only a certain level of depth that relationship can go to because we don't know the person behind the business. What Adrian does fantastically is he shares his innermost thoughts. He shares about his family and he shares about his business. And so you get an overall understanding of who the guy is. And that's why I knew him first of all. I commented on a couple of his posts and stuff. I was like, oh, I love this post, mate. And he was just so polite back. And then when I saw him, I was just like, I felt like I knew him. He felt like he knew me because of my content and what I put out there. So it was like, there was no, like when you first meet somebody, it's like, it's a bit different because you're meeting in person for the same time. And sometimes it could, for the first time, and sometimes it could be awkward. But there was no awkwardness at all. And don't get me wrong, 25 beers in could be one of those reasons. We want 25 beers in. Well, Adrian might have been. Only joking. And I just, there's a, I don't know, we just, you know, so my advice to anybody out there is if you're putting content out, another one who does this amazingly well is Ant Hebelworth. I always get his name wrong as well. Ant's content is brilliant because it's not just talking about security. It's talking about so much more. I feel like I know Ant so well. I feel like I know his family so well. I even know what he did yesterday because of LinkedIn. I know that his school was closed and stuff. And then straight away, you feel like that connection with that person because he's been vulnerable, he's been open, he's been honest. And I think he put some sort of comment like, oh, great, 4 of us on laptops. This is going to be fun. Something today. And I was like, oh, I can completely relate because if all us 4 was in my house on a laptop together, homeschooling, me working, the wife working, I'd be like, oh my God, this is going to be interesting. And so you feel like you know the people more. And so I would recommend anybody out there to start doing more content because the only reason we started working with Adrian, the only reason is because of his content on LinkedIn, because then I knew him. Because there's so many advertisements in these brochures and conferences, but it's a company and you don't know the people behind the company. I started working with Ant because of his content. Because of his content, I was like, I like this guy. I feel like I know him. I feel like I like him. I've never met him in person. Well, I think I met him at the same time I met Adrian. And I was like, right, I want to work with him because he seems like a spot-on individual. And I still think I can beat him at snooker, by the way. Well, he came round to my man cave where we are here once, and he played me at pool. Honestly, I don't think I got 2 shots. I was like, oh, this is embarrassing. Right, let's play football. We didn't actually play football, but yeah. So my tip is to put more content out there, but also I would certainly just be vulnerable and show a little bit of your personal life as well. You don't have to show pictures of your wife and kids, but you can just talk about where you're going, what you're up to, what you're doing, because then you get to know that person a little bit more and the relationship gets a little bit deeper. Right. So Adrian, first met him at the bar and stuff. And then when we bought Wrexham, the CCTV cameras were rubbish. And so we had to improve them. So the first thing I did was, right, I need to get a quote from Adrian. My mate Adrian, let's get a quote. And I'll be honest, normally I get 3 quotes for places. I didn't. I got 1 quote. This is the power of content. This is the power of what Adrian does. And yes, I want to give Adrian and Ant a shout out. And I'm sorry for anybody else if they're just top of mind. Sorry. I want to give them a shout out, but I also want it to be a lesson to me and to you that content is so powerful. I started working with them too, not because of a conference, not because of any advertisements I saw, but because of those people. And so content is so powerful, and lifting the veil on your life is incredible. And it just gets such good returns. And people love it. People absolutely love it. So I urge you to do that more if you aren't already doing so. And like I say, if I was only going to do it about today. I was only gonna mention Adrian, but because of Ant, I was like, oh yeah, Ant as well. And then I'm like, oh, and now I'm thinking, oh no, who else haven't I mentioned? There's Emma Banks who does a really good job. I'm like, ah, and the Gavin Shield, oh, forget it, right? So there's loads of people out there who do it. But I urge you to do it more if you're not already, especially if it's business to business. If for us with Stormore, it's people aren't going to come to me through my well, maybe business customers might, but on the whole, where I'm not going to get it. But most of my business sales from my course are obviously through my content, and so it works in that sort of situation as well. Right. So normally I get free quotes from three different people, but because I just wanted to work with Adrian, I thought, no, do you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to get free quotes. I'm only going to get one quote, and I had no idea if it was a good quote, bad quote, or whatever. But I was happy with it. He was happy with it, and ultimately, it's got to be good for him. It's got to be good for me. It's a relationship. And I know that I trust Adrian enough that he's not in it for just one time sale. He's in it because he wants to work with me with all my other sites and anything else I need. And so I know that I trust that he's going to look after me. I'm going to look after him. And that's why it's a beautiful synergy. It's a beautiful relationship. So him and his team came to Wrexham. And honestly, one thing stood out to me. That one of the young lads, I can't remember who it was, sorry, this was nearly a year ago, or even longer. He came to me because I was on site at the same time for whatever reason. I'm never normally there, and he said, Dean, there's a bucket up there that's just about full. I said, a bucket? What do you mean a bucket? And he goes, yeah, I think there's a leak because it's right under where it looks a little bit damp. I'm like, oh no. And he goes, do you want me to bring it down for you and empty and put it back? I was like, yeah, please. He goes, all right, mate, no worries. And so he brought it down this ladder, put it away, put it back up again. And then he goes, there's a couple more over there. I was like, oh, no, there isn't, is he? The previous owner never told me there's any leaks in the building. And obviously, I didn't get up on the top shelf and start looking around, which maybe you should have done. And he goes, I'll do the same again for you. I'm like, mate, you are something else. That's something, yeah, no, don't worry, that's what we're for. We're used to this. Like, that is the next level. That is going the extra mile. And that is why people will shout your business from rooftop, going the extra mile. So it was amazing. Right, what else have I got? Adrian and his team did such an awesome job with Wrexham, but we've asked them to prove it all over CCTV, some of which were done before Christmas. So why do I tell you this? Because when you come across somebody and their company who does such an awesome job, I do think they require and need a public shout out. I asked Adrian, by the way, to sum up his business. I said that Adrian, because he didn't ask me, I swear to you, he never ever mentioned anything about doing a public shout out or anything. He's going to come on the podcast at some time. That's one thing I did mention to him. But I asked him to sum up his business. And so I said, I'm going to do a shout out, mate, for you. Can you sum up your business? And he goes, yeah. He goes, we provide a CCTV package which is bespoke to what the customer wants, both quality of product and budget. I love that. So that means that they've got the quality there. If you want the quality, pay a little bit more, or they've got the budget as well. They've got the ones that if it is cash flow limited, like hello, then they've got that for you as well. Every installation is valued as a family business. We make sure to look after them long after the installation has been complete. So he's basically saying, look, after the installation, we're not just going to say, bye, you've done it. We're there for you. And I put, beautiful put, buddy. So if you need CCTV, there's only one man in town, active-cctv.co.uk. I genuinely recommend him. And his company, it's a family-run business. I adore him. And I won't be doing this, by the way, obviously, if I didn't completely trust him. I've got permission to share his telephone number. It's Adrian 07808, and all these will be in the show notes, by the way. 789203 07808 789203, and his email address is adrian@active-cctv.co.uk. And I put, Adrian, I want a 10% off next site. Or just a couple of beers. I put, PS, I really do think business and life is about surrounding yourself and working with good, honest, awesome people. So yeah, absolutely. I put, Adrian did not pay me for this shout out, but if you want to pay me, as you know, I'm a money whore. I want to make money. I am here. No, do you know what? It's probably something I should look into more with advertising, because I get so many requests, and The old Dean just used to ignore people, not ignore people on purpose, but thought, oh, I'll get back to him there. They're throwing money at me. I'm still not getting back to him, which is stupid. So yeah, probably should start advertising now on the newsletter because we are now the biggest. We've got more. Well, we're the biggest mailing list in the UK for storage, so that's exciting. Um, can't wait for tomorrow's newsletter. I'm comparing revenue from 2023 to 2024. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, it was just a public shout out because genuinely, Adrian and his team just gone above and beyond. And that's not to say anybody else I don't work with. It because obviously people are thinking, well, you work with such and such, you work with such and such. Why haven't you done a shout out about them? And it's not that. It's just that I got close to Adrian over the winter period, and I've been talking to him for ages. And so I just thought, do you know what? If anybody needs CCTV, it's good for my audience because my audience are thinking, okay, I'm a bit unsure about CCTV. Who can help me? Who can recommend things? And Adrian's your man. Adrian can recommend you on all sorts of things. Even if you don't work with him, he's happy to talk to you, happy to recommend you. And I thought, well, it's good for Adrian as well because hopefully he'll get his phone ringing as well. So in a nutshell, guys, that is my public shout out. But please don't think that because I haven't shouted out anybody else that I'm not happy with anybody I work with because I'm just trying to think. I can genuinely say, genuinely, hand on heart, there's nobody we've worked with in this industry who I've ever had a problem with. Ever. Never. I'm just trying to think of, sure, there must be one company that we've like, ugh. Oh, well, there was one. Yeah, there was one, but they're not. I'm going on red now. I've never mentioned it. I'll never mention it. But yeah, it wasn't an amazing experience, and we got lied to, and somebody juiced us out of some money. And I'm trying to make sure that you don't think it's anybody that it's not. Uh, it's an American company. That's all I can say. So I don't want anybody thinking, oh my God, is it such and such? Is it such and such? Is it such and because it's not. It was a one-time thing where it was a special offer. They got in contact with me and said, Dean, we have this here, X demo, never been used. Do you want it? I was like, for this price, I was like, well, a bit too steep. I was like, well, we'll give you this price. And as it happens, I got told from somebody very high up in the industry saying, Dean, that is a complete and utter lie. They've tried to deliver it somewhere else after it being an X demo, and they had it up there, and the customer wasn't happy, so he told them to get rid of it because he wasn't happy with it, and they've given it to you, and you've fallen for it. I'm like, shit, and I did fall for it. Anyway, that is enough on that because everybody else in the industry, and by the way, overall, I think this company's got an amazing reputation. I just think maybe it was that one person in the team. I don't think it because I did talk to the CEO about it, and he was most apologetic, and he was saying, "How can I sort this out? How can I sort this out?" I just think it was one rogue person who probably was under a bit of pressure, thinking, "Oh shit, I've made a mistake because I've sold the wrong product. I need to get rid of it. Okay, get rid of it too." Oh, what about that big gob with a self-storage podcast in the UK? He seems like a bit of a drip. I'm sure he'll buy it off me. And I did. You was right. And yeah, so then I did buy it. So anyway, that is all, my friends. I love you. I appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow. I genuinely can't wait. This afternoon, I'm going to do loads of podcasts for the rest of the week, and then because I'm away next week, I'm going to try and do all the podcasts for next week as well. I'm really looking forward to that. Planning out my 2025, and yes, it's going to be a good year. A good year. I was going to go into like fitness. I'm not going to drink as much. But nobody's bothered. Nobody cares. Right. Okay. And tomorrow I'm going to try maybe Thursday because I've got a big meeting tomorrow. I've got a meeting Thursday morning as well. Shit, I've got a meeting Friday. I'm going to try and record, but I'm going to try and get back to all my messages, emails. I'm at Man City's game on Saturday, so maybe when all the kids go to bed and Claire goes to bed, I can do some emails then. But yeah, I've received so many emails and people want to help with sites and stuff that I'm trying to get back to everybody. And yeah, that's my pledge for 2025. So I'm going to, right. All right, my friends, don't judge me by the way, because that Christmas tree's still up. My wife was supposed to take it down yesterday. I took the kids out. She didn't fucking do it. Only joke, she did loads. Right. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll see you tomorrow. See you. Bye, 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 bye.